Hey guys, welcome back to my craft room. So today we are going to do something crazy. Oh my word. We're going to do a pocket letter only using a coloring book. You think we can do it? I think it is going to be quite the challenge, but I think it's going to be very fun. At least I hope so, you know. So I think what I'm going to do is just kind of go through all of my pages. And first off, I'm going to just pick a background page. What do I think is going to be the best background? And then also, what's like, see, this is going to be a pretty good background because I can add stuff onto it and it won't really matter too much. Like that, it would be an okay background, but I feel like it would be way too busy to add, extra coloring pages onto it. So we're going to stick with a very kind of simplistic background paper. So that way we can add onto it and it's not, as that one would be fun as well. But I have to kind of decide. That one will be okay too. I am thinking though, either the circles or the bursts. I'm thinking the bursts will be fun to do. So I'm going to go ahead and take this out. Oh, it's got some little perforations here that I guess I could be using. And we're going to start off with that. I'm going to kind of decide, I'm actually going to pull up. I think that'll be a lot easier. Pull up a little bit of a kind of 60s cheat sheet of colors. So I think we're going to shoot for around maybe green, yellow, and orange. I think that would be kind of a fun, experiment. So I'm going to go ahead and pick out my markers. Alright, so I have my swatches here. Well, my colors. I'm going to do a swatch now. So this is the French Vermilion. No. No. Not quite what I'm looking for. We might have to leave out the orange, is what I'm thinking. There's the orange, which actually, it's okay. Here's the marsh green, and then our mustard. I think the orange, the marsh green, and the mustard are going to work perfectly. So I'm not even going to color like crazy. Well, I'm gonna color like a crazy person right now is what I'm essentially doing. I am just going to get my chisel and I'm just going to outline here the colors that I'm going to use. So I'm going to start out with a very thick orange. Because this is our background piece, I don't have to be super technical. I can just, and because this is, not Copic or alcohol marker friendly ink and paper, it is going to probably bleed a little bit, and also I'm going to have issues with ink smear, but I am okay with that. I feel like it just kind of gives your picture a little bit more interest, and because of the 60s color scheme, I feel like you don't really necessarily need to have it a pristine color. So having that smudge line in there, I feel like it's kind of cool actually. So I'm just doing a little bit of circling outside of my orange flower there. So I went with a bold line, and then I went out with some extra white going around there. So now I'm going to go in with my marsh green. And I'm using my chisel nib again. I'm starting out with a harsh green line here in the center, working my way out, letting in just a little bit more white as I go. Now you could leave it like that, but I am going to circle in my green right into that orange. Just going right into it, combining those colors, and then I'm going to go right into this flower as well. If you're worried about, you know, your ink going onto your surface underneath, you can always get an extra piece of paper and just put it underneath. But my table has seen better days, so I am okay with it being kind of out there and getting worked on. So now I'm going to go in with my yellow here. Again, dark circle right in the center, no white at all, and then kind of come out and bring in some white. Go into my green. And my orange as well. And this is going to fill in your white spaces. If you want to keep some white, that's fine. If you want to, you can go all the way with your orange here. Or not orange, your yellow, because it is a lighter color than both of your orange and your green. It's going to not really take much out of your other colors. Now, if you did it with your green, it would really cover up your yellow too much. But leaving it white is also fine too. It doesn't quite matter that much. So I'm just filling in with the rest of my mustard yellow. I'm leaving my center orange though. I'm going to leave that side and go in with my green a little bit more. Kind of like this was a green flower. Oops. I need to go back to my chisel. And then come back with my orange. Basically, you're just building up your color, keeping that circular pattern. And then when you get to a good stopping point, you can go back in with your yellow and finish up on your green. Of course, the mustard is a little bit overwhelmed from the orange and the green, but I think that doing it that way, you have a less of a risk of almost oversaturating your lightest color. Alright, so we are going to cut off this side here at, let's see what we're going to be at. Let's do 7 inches. Nope, it is going to be, if I can get it in there, 8 1/4. Nope. We're going to be at 7 1/2. So we're probably going to be a little under for our page inserts. So let's do, I'm debating, do I allow myself, well, I don't even have brown paper, so I'm thinking, what are we at this way? A little under 11. We might be fine. So I'm going to grab an extra piece of paper here. I'm going to grab a brown. Let's see here. What's a good brown to use? I don't think cinnamon's dark enough. Let's do cocoa, should be good. So again, chisel nib. And I'm going to just color my edges because I don't want them left white and I don't want to cut them off. So a brown is probably a pretty good compromise. Alright, I've gone ahead and finished up my edging. So now it looks like that. I think that brown just really framed it nicely. So now we can go in and cut our inserts. 3 1/2, 3 1/2, 3 1/2. 2 1/2, 2 1/2. Oh, just barely 2 1/2. Oh my word, that worked out perfectly. 2 1/2, 2 1/2. It sounds like I'm saying tuna. 2 1/2, 2 1/2. So those are our inserts. So now let's put that together and see what it's going to look like. I think I'm going to go ahead and place it in my pockets just so that I can see it. And then kind of work off of that. I think that'll give me a better idea of what I want to do. That orange burst right in the center. We've got our yellow up there. got our, oh my gosh, this looks amazing so far. I don't know why I've never done this before. Okay, so now we can go ahead and pick out, I'm thinking let's do sentiments first. So we're going to pick out any words that I really want to kind of stand out. So I'm just going to flip through. I'm kind of leaning towards that. It's also an image, so I'm kind of, The 60s would be really nice to put on there. I think the piece also would be fun. The summer love would also be really good. There are just so many sentiments that would be great. Huh. They're a little bit big, so I have to worry about placement is the only thing. I think what would be great is to do this piece. So I'm actually going to just cut out that section. That way I can, use that peace sign somewhere else or on another project later, and I don't have to worry about it kind of getting lost in my messy work area. So just cutting out this first section will be great. Let's move that out of the way, and we're going to go ahead and move on to our piece. I want to kind of separate, so I think for this I'm going to do, actually I'm going to do red, maybe. I know that doesn't quite go with the actual piece. Oh, that's making me rethink my, so I don't want to use the original colors of the background. I'm actually kind of thinking just one flat color is going to look really great, and maybe that will be a blue, like a very sharp, dark blue. Yeah, like that. I know it kind of takes the fun out of coloring, but I also think this is what's going to look the best on our pocket letter. So just kind of doing one flat color is going to make it kind of look like an alpha, just the stickers that we would put on it. I think that we'll end up using our actual coloring in other pieces, and that's going to look a lot better than doing just coloring. So we have to kind of pick and choose our battles. So I'm going to cut these out one by one, and then we'll be back to put them on. All right, so I feel like it's a little bit hard to understand what these letters are because of all of the decorative work here. So I am going to actually just go in and with my white gel pen, just go along this path that has kind of been created for my, letters, just so that we can kind of see them a little bit better, and then we can understand what the heck this letter actually is. So now we can go ahead and put that on there. And I'm thinking we're going to put that on the bottom of our um, section of our pocket letter here. So not quite two are going to fit. Actually, two fits on that one. So actually I think that'll be fine. And I'm going to move it all the way down right onto the edge of our frame there. Oh! Figures. I'm actually going to put my E in there. I think that'll work a little bit better. With just some hot glue. Just because those are going to be so little when it comes to any other adhesive. Hot glue is probably just the easiest. Alright, so now I think I'm going to go ahead and move on to my images that I want to put on there. I actually want to do these two bugs, I'm thinking. I think it would be fun to have those two just kind of cruising on the pocket letter. So these guys I am actually going to go ahead and take my time and color them up, and we'll see how that works out. These are our new cars, all nice and colored up. We can go ahead and put on our pocket letters. So I think I'm going to, I really don't want to cover up any of the pockets, so I think I'm going to feel like maybe 2 is just a little too excess. Oh, it's just that they're so big is the problem. They take up a lot of space and they kind of are awkward for the pocket part. So I could do it at a diagonal and then just glue down a section so that you can still get in your pockets. But I feel like that's kind of odd. So I'm kind of leaning towards maybe just including one. This happens all the time. I end up I'm like, yeah, I'm totally gonna use that, and then oh, maybe I'm not. So I think we're gonna sit on that idea, and we're gonna start on the insides of our pockets. So what's going on our inserts is what we're going to start looking into. So we're going to be looking for little images that I can put on each of the insert. So maybe these flowers would work good. I could cut little pieces out of that. That one's a little bit too messy to kind of gather things out of. That one would be okay. Actually, if I cut out, that might be a little bit too big. Yeah, he won't actually fit on the pocket, or inside the pocket, rather. The hearts would be good. Actually, that might be a really good one to put on there. Yep, I think we are going to go ahead and do these hearts and maybe the flowers from the other page that we were looking at. So I'm going to go in with my fire brick that I had used on the car as well, and I'm just going to go in and fast color my hearts. Okay. With all of these hearts and then also the daisies, I'm thinking on the daisies, I'm actually going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to do on my side. I'm going to do my two big ones right at the top and then my two littler ones on my middle pocket. On my middle pockets, I guess. Middle of my pockets. There we go. Just to give my side a little bit more interest. And then for my hearts, I think I'm going to do one on each insert. And then if I have enough, I might double up on the littler ones. Let's go ahead and just take these out because I'm going to be working on them anyway. Right now. Alright, so I'm going to take out the bottom ones and use the rest of these hearts and just kind of fill around my piece on the top there. Oop. So because I've got a bigger open space here, I can do the bigger heart there. Bigger heart on that side. Then we can do two littler ones on that one. And I think we're done with that section, that bottom section, unless I decide to add anything on the outside, which I might. So now I'm going to look in the coloring book again and see if there are a certain kind of maybe like a banner or something I want to create out of something, or just some words that I could put on just to kind of add to my hearts. Just kind of looking to see what I can do to spruce them up a little bit. Give them a little bit of extra oomph. Most of the time I would do a banner and a sentiment, but I'm not thinking we're gonna do too well on that end. Could do the little birdies, but I feel like that's gonna be a little too much. See, here are some words. 1, 2, 3 words. Yeah, let's go ahead and take those out. I'm just going to use my scissors again because I don't want to kind of disrupt the rest of the page. Oops. Just what I'm going to take here. And I guess with 3, I could go ahead and put my car on one of the panels, and it wouldn't look too bad. The hippie and peace would work too. So let's work with what I have here. And with these, I'm going to just do a flat color. I'm probably going to do blue just so that they pop a little bit more, just like the piece does. So now with our little sentiments here, I'm just going to place them right next to our hearts. And then I'm going to call those ones done. And I think I do want to go ahead and put that car right in the center. And I think I'm going to do the blue because the red kind of just blends in a little too much. I think it turned out awesome. So here's our first section, and then our color, and then our bottom section, and our daisies are on the side. I think that if I wasn't doing this challenge, you know, of just trying to use my coloring book, the only thing I would actually add would probably be just ribbon on the side. And it'd probably be like a brown. Maybe, no, I think I would do a brown ribbon. But even that, I don't think it would be necessary. I think it just turned out really great. I don't really have any complaints other than it was hard to make sure you could see the letters in the blue, but I really wanted that blue to pop out. And I think that, you know, doing the letters or the words in that blue really kind of help set the tone of, you know, we're doing very bright, but yet still earthy, if that makes sense. Yeah, so it's a very interesting color scheme for sure, but I think it works very well. And of course, it was very easy to use when, you know, having a coloring the 60s whole theme coloring book. So it was kind of easy on itself. Although I do wish that they had these flowers in there. I didn't typically see those. So, because those would have been really fun to add, maybe instead of the hearts. But I think other than that, that is, you know, that's my only thing is just adding the ribbon. Of course, glitter would, you know, be nice, but I don't think it's necessary. Like maybe glitter up the red hearts. But then again, I don't think glitter really would have worked well with the color scheme. I think it would have been too, maybe too distracting, and it would have pulled away from all of the different elements of this pocket letter. But yeah, I think it turned out awesome. Thank you guys so much for following around. Thank you guys so much for thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you are having a crazy day. Good crazy, not bad crazy. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.